in terms of giveaway? What are the things that we're giving away?
Absolutely. So all you have to do is take out your phone and during any point in the webinar, I just want you to record a story and then upload it on your Instagram. And you can tag at PitchGround. And you can also, do we have any Instagram account for Olvi or not?
We don't have it over there as such.
Okay.
But you
All
can
right.
sort of tag me if you want. It's just at I am Arnab 6543.
Sure. You can type it in the chat.
Yeah.
So you can tag PitchGround on, you can tag PitchGround and you can tag Arnab. And what happens is we will announce a winner in the end from Instagram only. Yes, it's a special Instagram only giveaway. So during any point of the webinar, just take a story. All you have to do is just slide in here and then it opens the story tab. Just click during like this, during any point of the webinar, and then upload the story, add PitchGround, tag it, just type it, add PitchGround, and that's it. So with that, we have more giveaways as well. So let's begin the webinar. Let's not wait any further. Arnab, it's all yours. You can share your screen and you can just get started.
Sure. Just 1 second. Cool.
I'll make sure to utilize the QA section because we will have the founders selection round where the founders will pick the best question. So again, make sure do not use the chat for any Q&A. Use the QA section if you want to win.
All right, shall we start?
Over to you, Arnab.
Absolutely.
Awesome. First of all, thanks a lot, PitchGround team. I think this is wonderful. You guys are doing some great job here. And like just sort of a disclaimer to a lot of people is that we are like people like you. We are just makers, builders who are trying to build something. And we are not sort of any marketing guru or anything. But then, there's the way we have I have sort of structured the presentation is sort of like a story that we did like a couple of these different experiments for ourselves to get this first 100 users or any users in general, right? Like these experiments is what I'm going to talk about today. This is not a sort of any framework or anything like that. It's more about how all we sort of got their first set of users and things like that, right? So I wanted to keep it more conversational. I wanted to keep it more storytelling, because one of the things that we do at Always is we do a lot of these stories. We try to speak a lot about how we are building, what we are building, and stuff like that. And that's exactly what you will see in the in the presentation today. So let's just get started then. So basically, this is the team. I and Nishant, sort of, the co-founders of Alvi. Nishant is and we have been friends since school. We have been building things since the school. Started with the web services company back in when we were in 11th and 12th, and then sort of went into the same college again, sat in the same bench, and we have our own stories where Nishant went to this whole path of being an engineer and stuff like that, whereas I went into this whole creative zone of the things, which is design and product stuff, right? And I have been working with a bunch of the side projects lately from 2018 till now, and have worked with large enterprise companies plus B2C companies as a product designer. Whereas Nishant was one of those first engineers who worked at Atlan, and basically helped the company to scale in terms of the engineering journey, right? And yeah, I mean, we have been friends from a long time, and we wanted to do something, and we were like, we have been talking about we have been talking a lot about building something or have our own startup since we have been since school. Let's just get started. So in the last 2020, right, we were just sitting around and we were like, okay, what is the best problem that we can solve right now? And we went ahead and talked about what are one of those common things that are happening in our life when we are working at these companies. One of the things was communication with your customers, right? A lot of these large enterprise companies, a lot of these SaaS products, The one of the key important things is to give a lot of these updates about what they're building and stuff like that. And what we have seen is that inside our company, uh, like inside a company, a lot of these resources were basically kept to build something like Watch New as a service, right? And one of the best companies that do Watch New is basically Slack, where this small gift icon where they push these releases about what are the important things that you're working on. And that's how we were like, okay, let's just get into building a release note tool, because we know we can solve it much better because of the backgrounds and stuff like that. And that's where we got Alvi. So this is what we have built. So Alvi is basically a release note tool, which is beautiful by default, and also helps you understand how did your releases go by getting feedback from your users. And one of the twists that we have done in Alvi, while you're getting any sort of feedback from these users, is that it passes through a sentiment analysis to basically help you understand the pattern of how these releases are going. Are these positive, negative, or these are just neutral feedback, so that you get a better picture about or an overall picture about how your releases are going or these announcements are going, right? So this was about the team and sort of what we have built. uh, and this has been a wonderful journey all this while, and that's what sort of I have documented here. And like one of the things that we were thinking, like, okay, what are these part of the story, right? And we were like, and these are like the stages of the when you're starting any product, or when you're starting to build any product. These are some of the the parts of your journey that basically looks like, right? One is what to build, right? I mean, it's very obvious to go about, I already have an idea, and there's already a competitor sitting out there with bunch of these customers, bunch of these users out. And the second part was basically, how do I get my first set of users when I don't have any audience, when people don't even know me? I'm just a maker. I'm just another maker who's basically trying to build something out of it, right? And then the third thing is to finally launch in a way that you actually get a lot of eyes on the final day of your launch. Like, so it's basically a journey which you need to orchestrate while you're building a product, right? And these stages are very important when you're building these products out, right? So we just took the first part, is about how do we solve about what to build. We knew that release notes is the thing and we want to build that, but what to build exactly in that as well, because there's a very saturated market. There's so many people doing the same things, right? And how do we go about understanding what to build the right thing, right? So this is what we're going to talk about. So the first things first, at this age and time, right? Gone are the days when people were talking about just get a minimum viable product and just push it, like ship that shit, right? Which is true. I mean, ship that shit is true for sure. I mean, it's important to ship it, because you won't never understand like how this product is actually going to work if you are not shipping it. But still, there is some sort of standards that are built all this while. We are here at 2021, and it's obvious that you have to have a great product. People probably would say you like, okay, you are coming for the first time, but they are not taking you gonna take a shit about it's just a minimum viable product, rather than the world is looking for at least the minimum delightful product. How do you go about it, right? It's about, you don't need to have your 100 users happy, right? The idea is to have 10 users who just love you. And that's the whole idea of this day, age and time where we are living, is that think about how do you go about building a minimum delightful product. And that's what the strategy we took in. And of course, building is hard. Building is hard because you don't know what exactly to build, because there's a lot of competition. You would be another sort of copycat of a product which is already out there, and that's what we were also dealing with, right? Because the market is so big and there's a lot of people that are doing the exactly same thing. But still, how do you position yourself is the whole point, right? So this is one of my favorite metrics to look at when some of the when you're basically starting out a product and you want to understand how do we differ from your competition, or the competition that you already have in the market, right? And this is one of the frameworks that were given by Corey Hines, who was one of the you know head of growth at Baremetrics, and I totally love that guy. I mean, I've learned a lot from that person. So what he says is like, it's basically a differentiation slash demand metrics. So a clear winner would be that you have high differentiation and there's a high demand, right? Which is like you are at the spot, you are the one that people are basically waiting for. And the second could be like you have high demand and low differentiations, which is fine, right? You can have low differentiation, but there's high demand, so you can still go and build because there's a lot of customers out there in that market. And even if you just sort of build the thing, there could be some of the other things that you could be like, okay, my support will be great, could be like one of the differentiation, or the way you onboard could be one of the differentiation. But the whole idea is that you still can build a product over there. And one could be like high differentiation and low demand altogether, where you're in a market where probably there are 10 people who are sort of asking for the tool, and you have high differentiation over there. Go and build for them. Like, that's also fine. You can have a spot in that section as well, but you should never be in the part of where it's like low demand and low differentiation, right? That's where basically you're just picking up a product, copying it, and done, right? Which also sort of works in a lot of places, but not really works for a lot of products at all, right? So understand your competition. You don't really need to build everything that your competition have. One of the analogy that we love talking about at Olvi is that it's fine. Like Android does it first, and then Apple comes out. It's like use like they sort of focuses on what are the core principles of building the product, right? Will it fit in the actual journey of my user experience or not, or things like that, right? Because let's say I do one of those things which are like totally different and gives me sort of a differentiation on top of my competitors. I would go and build that first, right? And obviously I can go and copy the rest of the features that they already have. So the whole idea is that you can sort of tell your customers that we have these four things that our competitors are not doing, and you can probably go and buy us and sort of we would come and build the rest of the things that they have already built, right? Because the fundamentals remain the same, right? And it's important that you study your competition a lot, right? So yeah, I mean, as I said, it's about all we and how we sort of try to think about the first principles about building the product. And we were like, what are those things are lacking, and what are our superpowers as a team? We are product people in general. Like I and Nishant are a lot of product people. I also come from a design background. He also understands a lot of this user experience and stuff like that. We were like, okay, what is the big thing that we can pick up, right? uh, we were like, okay, the first thing would be design, right? Because great design communicates quality, maturity, and superiority, right? The whole idea was that in our market, there's so many players, and some of them actually are look alike of each other, right? And we were like, what is that thing that is missing? And we were like, okay, let's just pick up design as one of the things that we would like to differentiate with. And then the second thing was do things your own way, right? It's not important what the competitors are doing or the way they have solved it. It's not like that's the right way to do it, right? What we have done, like for example, one of the examples is like in our release page, what happens is you go to this reaction space where your users can basically react on your on your releases to tell you like what is that feeling that they want to let you know about the new release that you have done. And we were like, okay, a lot of these competitors are doing like, okay, simple emojis that they just picked up and just added upon over there. And we were like, can we go animated about these things? Like, can we make it like a more like a video game experience where our users would feel like giving the feedback over here, right? And that's where we went into do things like this. One of the things that we do here is like contributors is one of the things that we added recently, and we were like, can we allow our users to basically celebrate their releases with all the contributors or people who were part of building that feature, right? And we were like, let's just do that. But then again, we went into the twist of saying, okay, can our users or can our customers users could send them love? We were like, okay, let's just do that. And then every time a user just comes in and basically sends out love to the team that's basically, at the back of building the product, right? And coming back to the presentation, so we were like, like creativity is going to be the thing, because we wanted to build a product which basically be delightful, which people would love, and they have fun while using the product. It becomes essential for them to, it's not just another release note tool. It basically should be, should basically feel like, okay, they're using something that has been built by very thoughtfully, basically, right? So these are the two parameters that we were thinking, like, okay, let's just get started with this. um, and we were at the verge of building the whole product by 6 months, and we were like, and why 6 months is because we were also doing a full-time job, and then part-time we were building this, and we were like, okay, 6 months, these are the principles that we understood from the product perspective as well, like how do we build it. But one of the things that we started believing in is, that uh, you till you don't give your product to at least one of your users, it's still not at the shape, right? So we started asking this question, like, how do I know if I'm building the right product? We were like, the answer is build with the users. And that's where, the whole marketing stuff and the whole sort of the sales cycles and stuff like that basically started, which is not very authentic, but sort of a hack that what we were doing, right? So let's see what we did, right? So this is the second part that we'll start with, is that how do I get my first set of users, build with the users, right? uh, so the whole idea is that niche out, right? Niche out in the sense is that, the market is too big. There's a lot of SaaS companies, a lot of B2C companies that you can go and sell these products to. But the whole idea is that if the market is too giant, uh, you just need to have a piece of cake. And that's what exactly we did. We were like, okay, we might not know what this company would need while they're purchasing a release note tool, but we know some of these people, and there is sort of a market to go about it, right? And that was exactly the market that we went into. We went into indie hackers. Why indie hackers? Because from 2018 to 2020, I was basically running this side project called Colors, and I sort of made a bunch of these friends where I scaled this whole side projects, and a lot of these friends were, sort of running these side projects or SaaS products, as a indie hack products, right? And they and it's basically they're a business which is basically run by a single person or something like that, right? And we sort of had an audience over there where a lot of people knew us in some other way because of the side projects that we did, or being friends in different sort of communities and stuff like that. So that's how we were like, okay, let's just niche out, and I think indie hackers would be the thing. So one of the things is, what we did was basically, we set up this something called as the Alvi Builders program, where the whole idea was that get some users, build Alvi with them, right? You don't need to be the assumer of what your users need. Rather than that, we were like, how do we get these users to build with us, right? So one of the things that we did was we planned this program called the Alvi Builders program, which is like, once the first version of Alvi was in a usable state, we went into approaching these indie hack SaaS tools, and then call them into and then basically onboard them through these Zoom/Meet links. But we don't have the product out. We don't even have the landing page, right? How do we still go about it? And obviously we didn't have the landing page because we were still building it, and we still were not sure that if we are actually building that minimum delightful product or not. right? And Corey Hines is one of, again, I'm sort of a big fan of this guy. And one of the things that this tweet says is that onboarding is one of the crux of SaaS products, because the whole idea is people using SaaS products are using it for their businesses, right? And the best onboarding will only be, sort of help you to get them started quickly, right? And we were like, okay, we don't have a self service right now, we don't have a sign up page and stuff like that. How do we go about it, right? And that's where we went into this idea of Superhuman Way. So Superhuman is this product which basically is built for emails. They are building that email to optimize for salespeople and basically email heavy users. And what they used to do was that they used to do these one-on-one calls where they would basically ask you to fill a form, and then there will be one onboarding specialist coming over there and basically help and take you through the whole product, to basically help you get started. So there were like four things that we're creating over here, and you would see how we actually took this parameters to in the marketing side of the things as well, right? So what we did was we went into one-on-one of these. We went on to different channels, like for example Twitter, some of the communities that we were part of. I went over there and they'd be like, we are building something like this. Would you be interested in be part in one of the first users? And some of them actually agreed to, and we were like, let's just target for 10 users, right? And then 10 users would become like a cohort for us. So one of the key things that happened over there, like, since since they are talking to us, we are actually creating power users. We are like, this is there, this is what is happening, this is how the dashboard would look like and stuff like that. Increase retention. I mean, still those people are still part of this, part of the Olvi. They're still using the Olvi, the product, and there's a high retention going on over there. And then with this 10 people, what you're trying to do is drive virality even before your product doesn't even exist in the market, right? Because there's a connection between you and the user right now, like the first 10 users, right? And then foster real human connection. That's exactly what I was saying, that uh, you're so connected. It's not the people are not connected with the product, but they are also connected with people who have created them, so they could able to empathize and stuff like that, right? And that's exactly what we did. We asked them to come to a Zoom call, and we asked them to start using the product, and share your screen. Simple as that, right? And this is how it looks. Ask them to demo how they use it, like with the method that we use. That the generic classic demos are, okay, I am a salesperson and I'm sharing my screen, this is what it happens over here, this is what is happening over here. But we did a little different. We were like, this is the sign up page, start signing up and share your screen and show us how you sort of use it. Now these are some of the early users that you're part of. You would see Harsh, who's also one of the makers of PageMaker. We have in status, and a bunch of other people. uh, and that's basically became like a UX research tool as well, where we were also trying to understand how this user is using this product, right? So that we can go back and quickly change those things, because we are looking at it live, right? So basically, this is how we planned a demo. Rather than going to the classic way, we asked them that show us how would you go and use it, right? And exactly what we planned was happened, right? We have this 5 to 6 people who are just going around and talking about us on Twitter, and we were like, we are creating a channel. We have still not talked about what Olvi is about and stuff like that. People are just going over there, on board. Like for example, Harsh, we onboarded them for one of their parent company, which is Wepar. They're still using it. PageMaker is also using us. And then they went into and talk about like onboarded, gotten onboarded by us and stuff like that. Cliff.ai was one of those. Then Ali, who is one of the founders of in status. And yeah, I mean see, we didn't even need to sort of go and do something explicitly about marketing. but there was this some buzz that we were creating, right? And this is sort of taking as a carry forward to our final launch as well. So I'll just take you through the next set of the things. And one of the things then after that, what we started was that go build in public, right? We started talking about every decision that we were taking. We were explaining like why did we build this feature like this. Like for example, this is like one of those tweets we used to write like long threads about, okay, this is what we are building, this is how it looks, the first look looks like this and stuff like that. It's about being as sort of candid about what you're building, because it has to be more of a human to human connection, because we are in 2021 and people would love to see how these products are built. And if you look at the traffic channels that we have, like the first one is direct, the second one is social. In that social, the top one is Twitter. Like a lot of this traffic that is basically coming from to us is basically Twitter. Like and one of the things that we did was we focused in one channel, and we were sort of exhausting over there. Fun fact, I had around 600 followers when I was at when I started Allbee, and today I'm at 1300 users, which is just a span of probably 6 months. I was just talking about the product, that's it. And people were sort of enjoying the whole thing that we were doing, right? So I would suggest go build in public, because that we still get a lot of organic traffic rather than any ads or anything. We don't do anything ads or stuff. And yeah, and a lot of traffic is still from Twitter itself, right? And this is what we learned. It's like launching is not a one day game. You need to launch again and again, right? If you look at this whole thing, like ambassadors started talking about it. There's like one sort of launching that there's a product like that, and then we went ahead and talking about it, like, okay, this is the new feature that we did, this is the new feature that we did, there's this update that we were working on. One of our users sort of loved something about us, and we started speaking about it, right? So it's important that you go and launch every day, because launching, there's steps to launch for sure, but it's like launching bits and pieces about what you do, what you don't do, and stuff like that. So it's important that you tell your own story every day to finally orchestrate the final launch of your product, because you need to have an audience before you go and before you go and start pitching your product, or basically for the final day, right? And then we were like, okay, how do we go and sort of experiment something so that we at least get attention of a lot of people, right? And we were like, a lot of people have announced the waiting list, sort of something like that, right? So basically you have your waiting list before you announce it. So if you look at the stages, we got ambassadors, we talk about the product, now we are moving towards having a waiting list, right? So we were like, how do we get attention of a normal waiting list? Like every other person has a waiting list, right? And we again went back to our whiteboards, and we were like, let's do it differently again. So one of the things that we did, like, how do we get attention of these people, right? And we were like, let's be creative. So this is like the old version of the announce of the sort of the wait list page. And we were like, what should we do, right? And one of the things why it sort of blowed up and we got our first 100 users signing up for the wait list was basically doing it in a different way. So what we did was we basically created this beautiful sort of animated page, which basically takes you through a story that we want to, that what we are building and what is it about and stuff like that, right? And a lot of these people sort of blown up, like they're like, okay, this is sort of magic, like how is this even happening, right? And 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 this sort of again went viral, sort of got us like few likes and retweets in Twitter. And that basically gave okay, I'll just basically share you the stats in the presentation itself. So this was basically the waiting list, and people again blown up, like what the hell is this, like why? And then people got this attention of you know uh, people were loving this. The technologies that we were using was Lottie. Lottie files was one of the things that we were using, and you know the Lottie team basically sort of featured us in one of their blog, and that blog sort of has a lot of traffic in general, right? And that's also sort of got us some traffic even before launching it, right? And these are some of the stats that we, while we were ending the the experimental page before launching, these are some of the stats that we achieved. Like one of the things were, we were at least, just because you're scrolling and playing around with this whole thing, a lot of what happens is a lot of time users spend just by playing around with these landing pages and stuff like that. So that way we have a good bounce rate over there, and people were actually experimenting a lot over there. And then one of the things that we actually ended up with around 140 users before launching the product. This is where we hit actually 100 users at that point of time. Like people, just to see at the experiment, they were like, okay, what are they building? Oh, this seems to be like a good sort of product that is going to come out. Let me just sign it up, right? And then we actually created like 140 people who were part of the wait list, and and was basically waiting for the product to get out. So you're basically creating this audience. You're creating this audience around you because you're telling a lot of story about how you're building that product. And that's what audience building sort of looked like for us, rather than having a community and things like that. What we were doing, like, we're creating an audience around our own sort of story, right? And then finally, uh, the time has come in, and basically we wanted to get into the launch day, right? And since a lot of people were uh, basically crazy about how and what kind of experimentations that we used to do, they were sort of, some of them are fans of, if there's something happening at Olvi, they will be like excited about what is this experimentation would look like. uh, and a lot of these audience were created around us, right? So prepare for the takeoff, right? Once you have the credibility, once you have shown that what kind of products that you can build, your sort of creativity with the product and stuff like that, right? Once you have created the buzz, the number one thing that you need to be doing is, before launching, be visible as much as possible. It should be like, if you are focusing at one channel, every day there should be something about you talking about launching or something like that, right? Because this sort of need to give a fuel to your ship that is going to go out in the space. And it's important for you to talk about it more and more and more, right? And then the second thing that you should be doing before launching, like 1 week before, we actually planned about, okay, from 24th or 26th was the launch, and then before that, the 6 days, we were like, what should we do about taking this buzz out, right? And what we did was, okay, and in 1 day we are talking about some of the crucial functionalities that we are building, we are soon going to launch. And then finally there was this, again, one more thread that I've written about how sort of what kind of stats that we generated from the waiting list page, that again became a sort of content for us to talk about in Twitter. And we were like, we are soon going to launch, let's see the results, how was it? And then we again created a video. We are heavy on videos. We have this one friend of ours who also works at Alvi with us, looking at the marketing side. His name is Rupak, and he's amazing motion designer who helps us to build a lot of these marketing assets, as well as videos and stuff like that. And then you before, like, even before the day of launch, we actually showed up the landing page altogether. We were like, when we'll have the landing page, make sure that you come and see it, and talk about some of the Easter eggs that we have worked on in the landing page and stuff like that. And yeah, finally we launched that product hunt. Kevin was one of the person. He's one of those um, product hunt, the top product hunters, have been hunting products from a long while. And he helped us basically launch us on product hunt. We sort of became number one product of the day. And after this launch, we one of the things that we learned was respond fast as much as possible when you're getting into the product hunt zone, or whenever you're launching it. Like even before, in the Twitter also, we did a launch. And then on the product hunt day, we were like, okay, let's just take all the suggestions we're getting, that the people are giving, be gracious about it, and sort of respond as fast as possible. right? Because you're small and you would like to impress these people who are coming here for the first time. And these are some of the stats that we generated. We had 134 signups here. We already had 140 signups at the joint waitlist sort of space. Now we are currently sitting at around 500 plus users. And yeah, that's how we sort of got our first set of customers who helped us build our product, and then getting into the scale of, going to 100 users and then 200 users and stuff like that. And that's it. Thank you. You can always connect with me on Twitter. It's I am Arnab 6543, and yeah, that's it. Hope you guys like our story, and yeah.
Absolutely. This was a crazy how you've gone from like zero to building an audience of your own, using different resources, different people. Wow. I mean, you shared your inspiration as well. Wow. This is one of the most amazing stories that I've heard, and you surely are a good storyteller.
Thanks,
Oh,
man.
definitely,
Thanks.
definitely. I just want to add a couple of other things that it's all about, and this is something that I again tell in every webinar. I'm going to say it again. Take action. You
Yeah.
got to work on your startup. You got to work on it every single day, right?
Correct.
Just like you eat every single day, you have to feed your startup every single day, right? You have to go out there. 80% is marketing. 92% of the SaaS companies fail, right? And this is not a stat by me. This is Lightning Capital, which is one of the biggest debt fund venture capitalists in the world, saying this, that 92% of the SaaS companies fail because not because they don't have a good product, it's because they fail with marketing, right? There are so many good products that have died out only because of lack of marketing, right?
Absolutely.
So you have to go out there, and this just doesn't have to be only the tech and SaaS product, right? Even if you're selling services, right? If you don't create a buzz, you will not be able to sell. How can you sell a marketing services when you cannot sell your own services?
Correct.
Right? It's as simple as that. You need to be going out there and creating buzz, create content, do collaborations with people, partnerships with people. If starting a podcast is very easy, we do this webinar pretty much every 2 or 3 times a week minimum, right? And now we are finding ways how we can do it 5 times a week and 2 times a day on top of that. Like, how can we start one webinar for any specific product, specifically during the morning time for Asia users in Asia, and then for users in Europe or US and Canada, we do it around this time, that we can cater both those users, right? If we can do this, you guys can do it as well. It's not that difficult, right? Everyone is open for collaboration. You reach out to 10 people, 8 will say yes for doing a webinar with you. 8 will say yes. That's 80% conversion rate, right? Not only that, when you get them on a call and do such webinars, you do 2 things. You build audience for yourself, and second, you build partnership, right? Now, we at PitchGround and now at Only, we're not just doing a lifetime deal and then like saying goodbye to each other after that, right?
Right.
Our partnership journey has just begun. We continue working together. We continue on innovating things, passing all the feedback that you guys are providing, and seeing where and how PitchGround and all we can grow together over the course of next 1 year and not next 1 month, because we understand it takes time, right? It takes time and a lot of nurturing and a lot of value providing before someone makes and decides to make a purchase. And that is exactly what you need to do with your startups, right? For example, last week when we did a webinar about how to go out there and start selling Virus Eye, right? Unish, I think he's present in the webinar. He went ahead, took an action, and closed his first deal. I'm so proud of him of going ahead and taking action, right? And imagine if he would have been just sitting around chilling on Netflix, he wouldn't have that conversion, right? He went out there, started reaching out to his leads. He saw the old leads that were in his pipeline, started reaching out, and he closed one customer. If he keeps doing that, he will see the compounding effect coming in and compounding subscriptions coming in, right? That is how you grow your business. You just have to work on every single day, which means launching every day. Launching doesn't mean this going on PitchGround, right? Launching means that you going out there and talking about your product every single day with everyone. partnering up with everyone out there, right? Collaborating in different forms of the way. This is how you can start making people talk about you, and then the word of mouth would come in eventually, right? And that takes time. That takes time, especially once you cater and make your name in the service industry. You grow exactly like the way a product grows. You find a product market fit for your service at that stage. From there, you go to a whole new level. I still know there is a service, backlink service company known as the Hoot. They do about like $15 million in revenue just by selling backlinks. 15 guys, 1 5, just selling backlinks, right? Even SEO cannot, even Google cannot stop them at this point of stage. That's how big the network they have made, right? But it didn't happen overnight, right? They went ahead, they started collaborating with all the SEO users, companies, freelancers around the world, and told them, just go out there and sell the backlink at whatever price you want. We'll give you at this specific pricing. And they built out a fantastic carving niche and market for them. If you don't believe me, Google around, you will find plenty of stories and plenty of information about that company that will help you to learn and understand. And this is what launches are about. This is how you can go ahead and start getting customers, right? And another thing that you can potentially do is, in case if any of the companies cannot afford your services for any specific reason, productize your service, right? You can turn your entire service into its own DIY product, which is create a course for them, create a checklist for them. Then when you are selling them, ask them the questions and see where do they often get stuck, right? Create another modules around them. Now what you have done is, someone who cannot afford to pay $2,000 a month to you would end up paying $500 or $1,000 one-time fees to you now, because they know that they would not only they would learn, but they can also execute themselves. Now, if you think that will drive your customers away, you're absolutely wrong, because there are two kinds of customers. One, who doesn't have too much money and wants to do everything by themselves. Second, who doesn't have the time and they want you to take care of things, right? Now, why do you want to pick one, right? Pick both of them, right? Enjoy the cash flow, right? That's where the money comes in, right? Exactly. And if you watch Shark Tank by any chance and watch Mr. Wonderful, he says cash flow is everything, cash flow is money, cash flow is everything. So now you're not only able to cater the first type of audience where you're productizing your services, you're also catering your services where you can probably outsource to someone else, or you're building up your team. That's completely up to you. And if you end up selling the productized version, list it everywhere, like list it wherever, any place like Gumroad, right? Launch it on Product Hunt, and go and list it everywhere, wherever you can. You will see you will start making money, because as long as your product provides value, people would come in and they would purchase your product, right? That's how you grow your audience, and then channel that audience, get them into your own Facebook group today. It's very easy to create a community today, right? Put them into your Facebook group, and then start nurturing them further, start providing them with more value, go live with them, right? Go do a private webinar with them. These strategies help you, and it takes time, by the way. It takes a lot of time and efforts on your end, especially during the initial stages, because you need to build a lot of trust with your users, and you need to provide a lot of value to them in these kind of webinars. Just like how we are doing, you need to do exactly the same with your audience. And when you do that, you would see that the word of mouth, when it starts kicking in, right, in about 6 months or a year of time, the sales flow for you would be absolute fantastic. So always remember, today, if you're not able to serve your customer in the form of service because they find your service expensive, turn it into a product. Create a course, again, create a checklist, make it so easy for them that even a 3-year-old baby can just watch your videos and can like just get along and get started. And by the way, 3-year-old babies are much smarter than us today, right? They know how to go to Google, they know how to go on YouTube and find videos. Absolutely. Right? I know my niece, crazy the way they use YouTube today, and I'm like, what were we doing when we were
exactly, man. So true.
So it's that crazy today, right? Technology is advancing so quickly, but you guys have to move at the same pace. So that's what I would say, that this is how you can acquire your first 100 customers. We've recommended more strategy with you today. We are now recommending another strategy to you, right? Go out there, create your product version, a DIY version of your services, right? Let's say that if you're selling copywriting services, if someone cannot afford to pay 50 cents a word, $1 a word, right? Create a course for them and create guidelines for them and sell that for $500, $1,000. People will gladly pay, learn from it, and then try to implement, and then just provide value and support for them, where they can just improve, right? If they're stuck somewhere, they can just reach out to you. Don't charge them for the support, because this is where they will start talking about it. Instead of that, try to get a testimonial from them, use the testimonial and get 5 more customers, right? Out of the 5 most customer, 1 will end up getting a service, 4 will buy your product. Get 4 more reviews, and that's how you compound your business. It will take time. And I know, like, it sounds easy, but it can be well executed, and it will take a bit of time, but you can have your first 100 customers when you execute this. Have patience, implement both the strategies, and start running ads. Start launching your products everywhere. That's how you do it, and that's how you onboard your first 100 customers. Honor?
Yep, absolutely agree. I think I love the second part. I think one of the shifts that we are looking at it is, at 2014 to 2000, somewhere around 17, 18, we have something called as gig economy, where, like, people who are basically trying to sell their own sort of whatever the skill that they have and turning into sort of courses or anything like that. Now we are at the creators economy, where we don't even need any platform to do it. It's like, if you have the will, there's a path to it, right? And it's becoming more and more easier with things like Gumroad and things like, Superpeer, and a lot of bunch of these companies that are coming up. So I
Absolutely.
totally agree with what Udit is saying. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I guess people here are waiting for the demo of
Yep.
Olvi. So guys, if you want a demo, just type in DEMO demo over there, and let's get to how Olvi works ASAP. Yes, people are typing in demo.
Guys, remember that we're gonna open up the 1+1 offer for you guys, especially who are attending the webinar, right?
Yeah.
That means you buy any plan,
Any
and
plan.
you get the same code, exactly the same code, whatever you purchase for free. There are also some upcoming changes that's going to be announced very soon, but let's keep some of the secrets secret. Oh no.
Cool. Let me just get started with the demo then. Yep. So this is basically the Olvi account, giving you back to the stories of what we are doing and how our dashboard basically looks like. And as soon as you basically jump in and start with, as soon as you basically jump in and signed up, or basically have a sign in, you will be able to see this dashboard, which basically talks about total views and different parameters of the things, which I'll take you through later. But let's just see different aspects of some of the things that we have already built. Before that, I'll just keep releases.olvi.co. Sorry. So basically, as soon as you sign up, there will be automated generated sort of release page that will be given to you, which basically looks like this for us, because there's a lot of content where we have created. But on the dashboard side, you will be able to see, there's the section called releases, where you will be able to see all the content that you have created and stuff like that. Like, for example, if I go to this particular release that we have written, so there are a bunch of things that you can do. You can basically preview before you are launching the release note. You can see the preview similar to in the widget as well. And there's something called as the featured link and the featured link text, which is basically you're giving it this particular CTA to every release that you have created, so that you can quickly ask your users to go and start using the part of the product that you have changed. You can always go and schedule the post. You can basically even go back to if you want to change the date and you want a particular sort of date to be published at, you can do that. Then there's expiration date. So for example, you're doing some sort of coupons, and you have just published a release note about it, which would come in the widget as well, which would come in the release notes as well, and you want it to disappear after a certain point of time. Uh, you can do it through expiration date. There's one more thing called add and manage users, basically contributors, where you can showcase who are these team members who are working in these, in the feature that are there. Then we have, projects and categories over here. So all of these you can manage over here, which is basically tabs here in these two sections. Like for example, for this particular page, for this particular release, it basically comes into the release page where we showcase, you know uh, where we showcase these contributors. And also you can, sort of attach category that will again will be shown in the release page, as well as the widget that you're doing. Then you can basically attach featured image for SEO purposes. When while you're sharing and things like that, it will automatically generate those metadata for you. And of course, if you don't want certain sort of, if you want to disable feedback and reaction, you can do it right from here as well. So this is basically the editor. You can always go back. Yeah, you can. The other section is basically the categories, where you can create, the categories depending on whatever the, category that you would like to create. Depending on, it would be announcement, bug fixes. In our cases, it's basically announcement, bug fixes, and enhancements. You can do it similar to that. Uh, and we have projects. So like for example, if you have a product which has iOS app, there's Android app, there is web app, there's certain sort of APIs that you are, building it for your users. That is, again, you can add it over here, you can manage all of it here itself, right? And one of the things that we do, and there's a section called appearance, where you can take care of all the, sort of description that is coming over here. You can change the logo and stuff. And like you can have header configuration, basically giving, some sort of links, some sort of important links that are part of your product, and you want them to get converted from a release page. You can do it here. One of the things that we recently launched was theming, where you can basically change the styles of your emojis. Like for example, if I go to Twitter, it will automatically generate these Twitter emojis and stuff like that. Google, similarly, it changes depending on the style. And again, you there's a whole theming section where, so we are currently sort of working on a dark mode theme as well. There will be a new theme that we're working on, but let's say till we don't have it, we were like, okay, let's just go with the theming thing, where you can actually go ahead and, change these settings depending on whatever the, branding and stuff like that that you guys have, right? So I'll just take it back right now. Yep. Right. So yeah, there are multiple configurations that you can do with this. And then we have advanced, options, like you can have a dedicated favicon uploaded over here. You can do your own custom CSS. A lot of our customers are using basically overriding the sort of whatever the, CSS or the design that we have given. So that's one thing that you guys can do. So that's what the appearance section was about. And then we have general settings, which is like we are SEO heavy, so you can always go and configure these things. We have custom domains. For example, if you want you want to have your own custom domain sort of redirected to, your allv.code page, so you can basically go and override that as well. We have Google Analytics. If you specifically want to have high range of analytics, which is given by Google, you can do that as well. And also, like for example, if you want to have your chats, snippets basically coming in, you can also embed JavaScript here as well. And then one of the things that we do over here is that, with every release, you would see there's a feedback option that we give, right? So for example, one of the twists that we have done is to basically help you understand the pattern of how these releases are going, right? So for example, if I write, okay, this, for example, if I write this looks awesome, right? uh, and I sort of, just posted it over here. What you can do is, so there's this section called feedback, where you will go over there and see, like, Okay, so I just received the feedback that I got over here, and you will be able to see a sentiment around it, right? And you can always go back and see the negative sort of feedback that you guys have been getting, or the neutral ones, or even the basically the positive ones, right? So this is one of the things that we have done. And one of the things that we have done is that your users can basically send thank you notes to you, that can again be seen in one of these sections, where all the thank yous that are coming in from different person or different users out there, that you get over here. And also one of the things that we do is that once you have installed Olvi in your product, we also sort of identify the users, or sort of we basically have user identification over there, so that you can understand and see like where and which who basically gave you this feedback, right? And one of the important things about Olvi is the widgets, which is basically you would be able to see here, which is install Olvi, where you have what's near the section. So this is like the model version of whatever the updates that you guys are doing, with the indicator that you can see in, like for example, if I can basically change this, the color of the indicator, or to anything that basically fits in my sort of product. I would do that. So a bunch of other things that you can basically go and configure here. So for example, if you want to have compact release cards, right? So what you can do is like, okay, I think it didn't really work here, but yeah, let's just see. Okay, not sure why it's not working, but yeah. So you can basically have a version of compact cards, and you can have search bar inside the model itself. Then we also have a sidebar version. Okay, I think it's basically, let me just switch into a different organization. Hmm, let's see if this works. Yeah. So for example, these are some of the releases that we have done in the test. So you can have the card version as well. And if you don't want it, if you want it to be fully, like blown up as one of the releases, you can do that as well. So these are some of the configurations that you can do. Now, for example, if you don't want it to be a modal, we also have sort of like a sidebar version, which is which looks something like this. Also, like I would highly suggest is that, let me just, my laptop is hanging. uh yeah, so we sort of have like a sidebar version, we have an embed version as well. And one of the things that you just need to do is you can just put up these configurations of whatever you want. Like for example, I can just have it like bottom left, bottom right, all those things as well. And depending on that, the script is basically automatically getting generated. What you need to do is just copy paste in your code, and attach it with the id of Olvi dash target, and you will be able to get started with that. So, and to get started with the user identification, these are some of the parameters that you need to pitch in, right? So these are some of the things that we do, that you can do basically with Olvi. So what happens is, now let's say there are there's a CEO that wants to ask the product managers about how has been the releases all this while in the last 30 days, right? And you will be able to see the whole sort of report that is happening over here. So these are like bunch of the things that you can do with Olvi. The other thing is, there are some general settings that you could be able to see, where this section will basically help you. It is just load. Yeah, you can basically add more sort of users over here. So this is what basically invite users look like. You can invite people right in here, and like multiple people can write a release notes over there. We also have integrations. Some of the integrations that are planned is Microsoft Team integration and Zapier integration. Slack integration, I think, if so basically with the Slack integration, what happens is whatever the feedback that you're getting, or is there any new release that you have done, will be automatically posted over there. So that's one of the things, and integrations is also that we are sort of working on. And yeah, um, this is sort of what we do at Olvi. Yep. would love to know what you guys think and stuff like that. Yeah.
Absolutely, guys. How was it? Because I fell in love with the UI. That's the first thing when we were about to launch all. We were like, wow, this is a beautiful product, especially those emojis, they react and etc. So you can also have such kind of widget to your site. And we've been getting a ton of questions regarding the widget, regarding the site speed, etc. Before we jump on to all these questions, let me just show you the 1+1 offer that you guys have all been waiting about. So guys, if you have questions, this is the time. Keep dropping in the questions in the Q&A tab. In the meantime, I'm going to share you the 1+1 offer.
Guys, again, tap in any of the product that you want on the Allbee page, and any plan that you get for the next 1 hour, you get another code for free, right? What can you do with another code? You can set up an additional organization. That means you can have Allbee on 2 sites and not just 1 site, right? For the exact same price. Similar solutions. How about Minang? Before we do that, let's show everyone GetBeamer and their pricing first of all.
Yeah, so GetBeamer. Let's go to it. Yep, because there was some questions regarding Beamer as well.
So we'll just show up the pricing first, right? And then we'll tell you. So as you can see, the pro version, right? It's $99 a month for 1 organization. The enterprise, which most likely, can you just go down, will most likely just include like some custom stuff and things. That is probably going to be like $249, right? So all the segmentation and everything is in Ollie, and a lot of additional features are coming in Ollie. So Arnav, to be fair to say that the current version that we are offering, if we compare it, is most likely the enterprise version of GetBeamer, right?
Yeah, almost.
So
Like,
almost
yeah,
$249 plan per month. You're getting it for $49. Right? And it's only going to keep on getting better and better and better and better. If you don't want the branding and stuff, then you can move on to the other plan. But a $249 per month plan of GetBeamer, plus all the upcoming features that are coming up, because these guys are not going to stop. These guys are going to keep launching every day, right? So if they're going to launch every day, they are going to acquire new users every day. So they're not going to be able to offer this pricing forever, especially 1+1 offer, guys. Take advantage of this. Such deals doesn't come by every day, right? It comes in once in a year. So either you get it now or you wait for another year for something else to come in, right? But in a year's of time, do you really want to wait for your business to wait for a year? That's up to you to decide whether you value your time or you just want to wait for another year, right? 1-on-1 offer is on, guys. You can buy as many codes as you want and you get an additional course on that. Minang, can you just paste the form? So all you have to do is just 2 steps. There's just 3 steps. Make your purchase. Then after that, click in the review page, drop in a review for Allbee. And after that, we're going to fill up the form. Just do that. And that's it. That's all you have to do to take leverage of the 1+1 offer, guys. Minang, can you quickly drop in the form link for everyone in the chat?
Yes, 1 second. I'm dropping in the form link that you have to fill. Guys, fill the form, or else
you can buy as many codes as you want for as many organizations. If you buy 10 codes, you get 10 codes, right? It's 1+1 offer. So we would, if you have multiple sites, just grab it. This is a fantastic deal because not just the product is brilliant, but we always say that you need to believe in the founders behind the project, because the founders are the one that makes the difference. It's not just the product, right? Product is just the medium, but if founders like Arnav are putting their heart and soul into the project, they would go beyond to make the project very successful, right? And that's what they were talking about in their earlier launches when they went ahead and started off with Twitter, Product Hunt, and have been keep on acquiring users after users after users, right? It all has happened because of the soul and the dedication that the founders want to show. So please take an advantage of this offer right away. It's on for an hour. Take advantage of it. Grab the deal. Again, you can buy as many codes as you want, and we will get you the 1+1 offer, right? If you want to get it for your friends, family, colleague, grab it. No one is stopping you. But just make sure that after you do that, drop in the review and then fill the form. After you fill the form, within next 3 to 4 business days, we're going to be crediting the code in your PitchGround account automatically. You do not have to follow up, but you'll have to just wait for 3 to 4 days for us to credit the additional codes into your account. If anyone has any question about the deal, drop them in the QA. We'll be more than happy to take that. Again, you can buy it for your friends, family. You can buy it for anyone in your friend circle, colleague, or if you have anyone working on a project that you feel can benefit from this, which you should, because again, the product is brilliant and it's a great way. And I think most likely within next 2 days, you will see the Olvi widget on PitchGround's website as well, because we want to start updating about the webinars, the small updates, and all of these things that are happening behind the scene, right? So for example, we want to start talking about the success stories of our customers like Unish, who did extremely well. We want to promote them, right? We want to push them because they're working very hard, and that one action can inspire 10 more people to take action. This is what community is all about, is it's working together. It's going ahead and doing things together, right? Inspiring each other. That's what community is all about, right? And that's exactly what we want to start showcasing very, very soon in the OLV section, where we're going to start writing. We'll soon cover the success stories in the form of blogs. So we want to push you guys. We want to promote your business on PitchGround now, but you need to take action on your end, and not just about making purchases, but take action in your life and get results, right? Once it's reach out to us and we'll push you on PitchGround and let everyone know about your success, which will potentially get you even more customers. Who knows that, right? Because when more and more people get to know about you, more people reaches out to you. So take advantage of the offer. It's 1+1 is on for the next 55 minutes, guys. Do not leave this opportunity. If you have anyone in the friend circle, you can get the code for them. It's completely okay. You will be able to set up your organization. Minank, let's start taking up the questions. Over to you.
Absolutely. So let's get started with the very first question. How it is compared to GetBeamer in terms of the features?
Correct. I think we sort of have most of the things similar to them. There are a bunch of things that we have done in terms of push notification and stuff like that. We might be moving over there, but we still wanted to solve this core problem of release notes for now. So we are very focused on just solving that for now, and think about and think of it more like a customer engagement platform. So it's quite similar, but there are a bunch of things that we are doing different, as I have shown it in the demo, which a lot of things that they're not doing. Like, for example, you can go and have your own themes and stuff like that. Have sort of your own set of emojis that you want to put in. And for example, sentiment analysis is one of the cases where we are helping you understand what is the success metric that is going on around with your releases. So these are some of the key things that we feel we are doing better than what Beamer does. And of course, design comes as one of the key things that Olvi offers. So yeah, that would be some of the major things.
Absolutely. Hope that answers your question, Nish. So what's the process to install on a WordPress a website? Either it's via plugin or via script.
So currently we are sort of working on plugins as well. Like, for example, Vue, React plugins, Vue plugins, React plugins. We would similarly have the thing for WordPress as well. But for now, I would highly suggest to get into that install Olvi section. Go over there and just grab the JavaScript and just put it out there. That it would be simple, is what we believe. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And does Olvi affect any page loading speed?
It does not, is what I would like to claim. But the whole idea is, like, when you have these external JavaScripts coming in over there, we do a lot of these optimization for sure. Like we think about, somehow if you go in one of the release notes that we have just launched, it was actually about optimizing the speed over there. We try to keep the file sizes as low as possible, so that on our users end it doesn't come as a thing, or basically slow up the speed. But yeah, we are trying to optimizing it for that, and it's like one of the crucial things that we do when we are doing a third party thing, because we are a third party service that we're trying to give to the user. So yeah.
Just to add to that, there's another suggestion. You can always use Google Tag Manager. Add the codes over there, because Google Tag Manager automatically makes all the JavaScript async, right? It makes it asynchronous right away, so you don't really have to worry. So I would always use that, right? if you go to pitch ground, it loads quickly. And we have, I think, over a dozen JavaScript on our website, right? And it loads just fine. It loads absolutely fine. And plus, we're already working on ways to improving our site further, where the moment we launch PitchGround version 4, which is something I think a lot of you have heard about that we have been talking, it's coming out in September, right before our 3rd year anniversary. We're going to launch PitchGround version 4. You will see the difference in speed. Our goal is to load PitchGround website in under 1 second. That is something that we have already achieved in our testing right now. And once you see, boom, click, done, right? And all of these with JavaScripts, but we're using Tag Manager. There's already a question on when we're going to do the Tag Manager webinar. It's going to be coming up very soon, most likely the first week of August. It will be announced, where we'll again guide you guys how to get started with Google Tag Manager and how to use it, because it's probably one of the most crucial free software everyone should start using, especially third-party JavaScripts should be all installed in your Tag Manager. It just makes it, first of all, easy for you to manage. Second, you have a complete control over on which page you want to load which script, right? Which again gives you so much more control over things, right? These things are so very essential. Plus, you can easily troubleshoot if something is not loading. Troubleshooting is also very easy. And plus, if you want to trigger any code on click event, you can even do that using Google Tag Manager. It's very, very powerful software. So definitely we'll be doing that.
Absolutely.
Again, guys, the offer is on 50 minutes. No FOMO. You have 50 full minutes to take advantage of the offer. Even if you don't, it's still going to be available on Lifetime Deal. So you can always buy on a Lifetime Deal still, right? So, but if you want the offer, now is the opportunity.
Absolutely. Offer terms are really simple. Buy any plan, take your time to review, use it, review it, and then, fill the form. That's the most important thing, because the form is closing in 50 minutes. Perfect. So let's move on to the next question. Are you planning to also have push notifications for announcements?
There's nothing sort of planned as of now, but if we go to that route, for sure. But there's something that we are sort of working towards, is more on the feedback management stuff, which is something sort of the next sort of the product that we're thinking about, because a lot of these feedbacks are basically distributed in multiple places when you're building a product. How do we go about and building something and basically have a single source of truth? So that is sort of the gist of what next we are building as well. But yeah, we haven't yet thought of going into that route as of now. Yeah.
Got it.
And again, guys, if you're running any agency websites or SaaS company, trust me, having a widget. I've seen so many WordPress agencies and creators today started using widgets like these on their website to update about the new blog post, update about a newsletter, update about a new product, new services that they're selling through the widgets, because it becomes very intuitive, because you're not interfering the experience of your visitor, right? You're not hampering them. Hey, new service is out, buy me, right? It's just nicely like sitting in your sidebar, looking very beautiful and pretty, right? And when that pop-up just keeps popping up, right? It gets and it grabs the attention. If you see that too, right? It just slowly keeps on grabbing the attention.
I want to click on it. Yeah.
Right. So again, you're making the users click rather than making them feel frustrated, right? And then all the updates out there. You again, in about 2 to 3 days of time, you guys will see Olvi on PitchGround, because we have been waiting for a while to have a beautiful looking product like this. And all the future updates, all the events, right? All of these things will be available over here, because it will make everything easy for us and you as well to see what other updates are coming up. Plus, I think the standalone page alone is so very gorgeous, right? So again, these things is something that you have to constantly do to make the life of your users a lot more easier. Minant, let's move on to the next question.
Absolutely. So will it be fair use according to founders if I use Olvi for updates of new products on my deal side? This is asked by Unesh.
Absolutely, of course, man. Just go about it and just talk about your things, right? It's totally fine. Yeah. It's just
that's a very nice use case, in fact, Unesh, on your site. Yeah. Talking about all the different products. Wow. that nice use case. So Chaitanya asks, what is meant by the number of users in PitchGround plan? Are all plans limited to one custom domain? I've seen Olvi with PageMaker, Vapor, love the UI, impressed with it. Yeah, so that's his question.
Cool. So I think what is meant by the number of users? So basically, in the $49 plan, is just one user. You will not be able to invite other, sort of users inside the, your dashboard. Whereas a number of users is basically like, for example, the second deal is about 5 users, where you can have 5 users coming in the dashboard and sort of manage your release notes. Wherein in the $145 plan, you can basically go and get like unlimited users out there. So that's what basically the users means over there. Yep.
Okay, so hope that answers your question, Chaitanya. Can the updates and new features once published on Olvi widget can be shared on social media channels by users and automatically to brand channels once posted? Also, is there anything like emotion analysis which feature user like the most and less?
All right. So the first thing is something that we are actually working on. That is one of the features that we're trying to do, is that you basically, for example, in one of the features that we already have is, you can sort of give a published date when you want to do it. So you're basically scheduling your post. So for example, like you have a release note that is going to go out, let's say next week, you can always go and schedule it, and it will also go automatically in different channels as well. So that is also we are sort of trying to work on right now. Yeah.
That's
Yep,
awesome. Okay.
Chaitanya, that's awesome. So yes, you got your answer. So does Olvi have webhooks? Also, if my app or website has dark mode switcher, then will it be able to turn the widget to dark mode or automatically? These were two questions about dark mode actually. So
Correct. And I'm actually taking this as a feedback right now. And to be honest, one of the things that we were thinking to do was that so the current page that you see is basically going to get revamped as well. There's a new UI altogether that's coming in, and yes, one of the things that we're considering over there is that having a dark mode and a light mode as well. So yeah, future things are coming in. Something around
Chaitanya, of course, you're gonna get the dark mode in the future update. So moving on to the next question.
I just want to add. I think in the coming months, founders will first develop dark mode before working on the long mode.
for sure.
Because the love
Absolutely.
because the love for dark mode is increasing so much. I
Absolutely.
don't even remember when I went like a normal mode on my MacBook, right? And most apps today, most SaaS today, whenever they make a dark mode, they usually keep an auto mode to see what your browser is using, and accordingly, the mode changes, right?
Yep.
So I think that's what is going to happen in the coming future.
For sure. I mean, I have not seen, last time when I've been using the light mode itself. So yeah,
Exactly.
I would love to do it for my product for sure.
Absolutely. So another good question, is single sign-on available? So the users who comments and reacts to the release notes can be analyzed and monitored.
We currently don't have single sign-on, but it will might come in the enterprise version. We are actually working on, coming out with the enterprise version of this as well. So in those cases, we'll be taking single sign-on, because a lot of these enterprise companies would love to ask for single sign-ons for now. So yeah, we don't have it right now, but it will be planned.
All right. So Om has a question. How to price our products? This is regarding the presentation which you shared. Like, did Nishant and Arnab had a fight to come up with some features? Like, yeah, this should we do this feature? Should we do that feature? How do you manage your startup environment? Okay, that's a
Right.
good question.
That's an absolutely good question. I think one of the major reasons why a lot of these startups also fail is because co-founders fight, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that we try to manage is that one of the things that we think about, it's more of a relationship where we will not go to the bed angry with each other. We actually talk about a lot on those cases. So this is one of the fundamentals that we have kept. Regarding the pricing, is one of the things that we did was, this is again a lot of around the competitor analysis, right? It's basically trying to understand what is that sweet spot where people will go and just go and switch it out, right? Because the whole idea is that there's a lot of people who would be giving the different prices right now, but the best way to come up with this is to talk to a lot of users, go and try selling them. Go with like $25 per month. They'll be like, fuck you. And then there will be like other people coming in and will be like, okay, I would give it $10, when then you will like, I've put in so much effort and the product looks like this. Then you go and pitch in, right? Why $15 basically makes sense. And that's and I also see like what is the average that you're getting. Like for example, 10, 20, like, okay, I can buy it, but it still feels like I cannot go. So that's when you come into the between spot. Is like the $20 person is also ready to buy it, and $10 person is also ready to buy it. That's why we went into the 15th one. It's like now we are at $15 per month, to basically, you know, grab these people, like saying like, okay, I'm already paying $10, it's just $5 more. Whereas $20 would be like, okay, I was expecting it to be $20 and I'm getting it $15, right? So that's how you try to understand sort of the behavior of your users, and basically come up with your pricing.
Basically, a lot of experimentations. If you're planning to become an entrepreneur, take notes.
Absolutely. It actually took us like 6 months talking to a lot of users to understand what would be the right pricing to nail in, right? Because there are already like so many products out there. So yeah.
And again, SaaS pricing keeps on updating as the users come in and etc. Yep. So unlimited projects means I can install widget on client sites also. All I mean, how can I manage postings? Can I give access to project to certain clients? So basically,
Go ahead, man.
Please go ahead. Yeah, you're taking over the domains and etc.
Yeah, sure. So basically, projects is nothing but more like a tagging, right? It's basically you're taking this one sort of release node and tagging with like, this is the particular project for which the release has been going. That's exactly what it means in projects in Alwi's case. And you can, like, for example, now you have an organizational account that you have. Like, for example, Alwi has this one account, and that can be associated with one domain, right? Because you're basically masking, let's say by default, you're getting acme.alwi.co. Now you're masking it to saying, okay, acme.com/updates, right? So that's how the accounts are basically done. And I think hope that basically answers the question. Yeah,
absolutely. So I love the Alwi logo. How did you guys come up with that?
Yeah, so as I said, right, so one of the things and the epiphany that we had while building the product is that, you know, there's a lot of chaos that's around while you're building the product, right? And if you look at this logo, it's basically converging. So it's basically you're diverging, then you're converging, right? So the whole idea is that having your feedback at one place, having your release notes at one place, and then there's a lot of chaos, and then you're coming to converge them. So that's what Alwi is also meant about, and that's how we came up with the logo.
Hope that answers your question, Vishnu. Can we pin major release on top widget?
I'm taking this as a feedback, and probably we can do that actually.
Thank you so much for the feedback, Chaitanya. In the 1+1 offer, I'll be getting 2 147 codes or double limits in the same account. If you're grabbing the 147 plan, then you will be getting 1+1 145. So if you grab the one code of 145 plan, you'll be getting another 145 code added to your PitchGround account, where you can use that code. You can or you can either give it to your friends, family, etc. So the limits won't be added into your account. You'll be just getting an extra code for yourself. Hope that clears, Unesh.
No, in terms of these releases, when is going to be the next major release?
Yeah, so one of the things that you're working on, and one of the person I think have also asked, is email updates. So one of the major things that is coming is that a lot of your users, basically your users can, you know, go and subscribe to your release page, and they can get automatic updates in their email. So that is one of the major things that you're working on.
I have a question over here. Yeah. So let's say that this feature gets announced and I want to use it, but for some reason I made some mistake. So is there going to be a lag time between when you publish and when the email is sent out, or is it going to be sent out right away as soon as the feature is published? Because so technically, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
Technically, there are chances that there can be human errors that can happen, right? I can misspell something, then I realize that, oh my God, right? I made a blunder over here, right? Yeah. So sometimes all of those like tricky human mistakes can happen, especially with grammars or spelling mistakes, right? That often happens to all of us. So in this case, will there be like a lag time that people can set up, or some default lag time of, let's say, once you make it live, you will have up to 10 minutes before the email go live or something like that.
Yeah. So there are two ways we are thinking of it, and one of the considerations is for sure this, right? Is that you make the product, like for example, for you to change it in the widget is pretty simple because you can go back and edit it. But for emails, it's just written on internet and it's basically written with ink, right? And you cannot change it. So basically, there are two ways of thinking of it. Is like we are sort of going to either club whatever the releases that you have done in a week, and what you can do is you can just say like every week just send out this release, right? For example, if there's no release, there'll be no email going out over there. So what we're doing is something around stacking these emails. But for now, what to go with the first version, what we're doing is if you have set it, for example, every release you publish, it will go to the email, like right in over there. But the second part of the whatever the product roadmap that we have taken is that you can also stack all of them. Like for example, let's say all the 15 days, it can basically club all the 15 days releases that you have done and goes out to your users in that particular date. So there'll be things around scheduling and stuff like that. But for the first version, we are going around, okay, subscribe, whatever the release that you have done, it will be automatically also go to your emails as well. So that's how we are thinking of it.
I think that's brilliant. I think that's really lovely how you guys have really thought about all of these things and the amount of time that you guys have spent just thinking, right? The possible issues, challenges, problems, mistakes. Like I think you guys have pretty much covered about like 98% of the use cases on this. And there are always that 2% random, like some imagining some stuff that, right?
Yeah. Of course. I mean,
really nice.
Basically comes from the first principles of how you think of the product. So
exactly,
that's how we do
it. I always believe think as a user and not as a product manager, right? True. That's the best way to come up with a brilliant product.
Absolutely. So the next question is one code equals one website? Then what's plan B and plan C for 5 users, 5 websites? Nope. I just want to say no. And then unlimited users equal to unlimited websites, or it's just one website, no matter what the plan and the users? The answer is yes. It's one domain, no matter what the plan that you're getting from PitchGround. But with the 1+1 offer, it's going to be 2 domains. Absolutely. Hope that answers your question. So the user basically is
update, in Olvi, there is something known as organization, which is a workshop or an organization. So you set up an organization inside Olvi. One organization can manage only one domain. So that's how Olvi works. And that's how the entire architecture of Olvi is really set up right from day one. So if you buy any of the codes, the only thing that will change would be the feature for that particular organization. So for example, you're looking at announce via email and all of these features, which are available, release notes and all of these things. So you can buy that. Now, when it says non-stackable, you're already getting the best plan for that organization, and that's why you cannot stack. But if you buy multiple codes, you can set up more organizations, but you cannot stack in the same account because you're already getting everything in that plan. So there's nothing more left to give in that particular plan. It comes with like unlimited users, unlimited pretty much everything except for the domain, which is just attached to one organization. So if you have 2 organizations, you can use 2 websites at that point of stage. So I hope that answers your question.
Yep. And moving on to the next question. If single sign-on will come as an enterprise version, then will it be included for LTD users or a separate add-on for LTD users? If yes, will it be monthly basis or an LTD add-on? That's a good question.
Yeah, for sure. That is something we need to think about, right? And I think it should be part of the LTD as well. I mean, I don't see any problem over there. But yeah, there are some. So basically, enterprise becomes like a very specific persona that you go and solve for these particular customers. Whereas these are more generic and basically help you get started with whatever the projects that you have. But yeah, I take this as one of the notes for me and basically go back and think about how this should work. But I feel like it's fine to give it.
Just to add to it, guys. So whenever it comes to SSO, it requires some development work on your end. It is not like a typical one-click solution, right? So for example, if you guys have seen our community.pitchground.com, Minna, can you just quickly go over there?
Yes, one
We'll,
second.
we'll love to explain you guys what exactly SSO means so that many of you would not just fall for the term, but actually understand, right? Minan, can you quickly like log out?
Yep.
So we are using a third party company over here, right? And if you see, this is what SSO means, right? Where there is a very heavy documentation. And we went through a 2-week integration process where we had to build all the tokens, all the systems, and the way we handle the integration seamlessly, where our database is being shared whenever there is a call is being made, right? So when you try to log in, that login happens on PitchGround because the call is being made to see whether there is a PitchGround account, right? Then it is redirected to a PitchGround account at this point of stage. And then you log into PitchGround and then it's reverted back. So it's not like a typical like one-click solution because that's what SSO is about. It is not that Google login or Facebook login, right? Those are the completely different kind of things that a lot of you users might look into it, right? But the SSO is completely 100% different feature, right? So even if you get it, you would still require dev work because it requires API integration with your database to see and ensure that the login happens on your end, and then you again take it down and get the login system done by sending the data to them. That's how SSO works. So I hope like this piece of information alone can make you guys help and understand few things about how SSO works.
Absolutely. And do you also plan to add Pabbly Connect besides Zapier?
Yeah, that we can sort of explore. I mean, I don't have a exact answer for now, but yeah, I mean, we can totally explore that as well if there is good number of asks over there.
Absolutely. And Chaitanya asks, can we send an email notification to all the users once an update or feature is released and posted on Olvi?
Good news, that's what we are building. We are going to
Awesome.
automate the release notes to your email as well.
That is amazing. That feature alone makes it all worthwhile.
I actually, I know I have another amazing suggestion, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can probably add it, and we can introduce when you introduce this feature for email notification.
Mhm.
We can call it a weekly or monthly digest.
Oh yeah.
So
Love
what
it.
will happen would be that sometimes we just want to automate the entire notification system and all the nodes that has been built up and all the updates that we are pushing up throughout the month. And
Correct.
imagine we get another reason to update our users. And trust me, your users love these kind of emails, right?
True.
No matter what, they wait for such emails because we are always excited about the brands that and the brands that we purchase from. Any little update, it's always super exciting, right? So for example, anytime Apple pushes any event, right? Like we all sit down for 2 hours, just watch.
Me. Yeah.
That's fun, but that's fun because you get to learn so much in the form of how they present things, how they look into things, how they
Correct.
ease things up, right? There's always a marketing side that I always try to learn from those kind of presentation, and then we end up buying anyways, right?
Correct.
So but still, that's the beauty about things, and these updates is something that you absolutely love. So I think a quick digest, and this is where we can probably like add a feature where send the digest weekly or monthly or both, right? And then that entire compilation happens automatically, and then a very beautiful looking email is being sent out to the user with all the updates. I think this will generate so much more engagement for users. I think this is something that I'll personally absolutely love.
That's exactly what we are thinking as well, right? When I said that, what we are thinking about is stacking. Like for example, a user could say like in last 15 days, whatever the release notes have been there, just
Exactly.
automatically generate a email and just send it to that, right?
And
Because
if there are no updates, no email needs to be sent out.
exactly, that's how it works.
Awesome.
Or we could basically do this one of these retention thing, like saying like in last 15 days you have done no releases at all, just go and build it out. So we can do that as well.
Exactly.
Yep. So 28 minutes on the timer for the 1+1 offer. Moving on to the next question. How does it compare with competitors like ProtStash, Frill, etc.?
Right. So Product Stash, I believe, and Frill, I believe, have also gone to the route of road mapping as well. Whereas we wanted to be in the release note side of the things first, because as you see, right, the customer engagement platform itself has a lot of these problems to solve. And we have gone ahead and do some of the other things. Like, for example, some of these people don't even give you things like customizing your widgets and things like that, right? Wherein people do want those things, right? So so our philosophy was basically go and solve these particular problem, take it this one problem and solve it the best way possible, and then move on to the next problems, right? Rather than building up the whole stack. And that's what these people are basically sort of giving right now, whereas we are still focused on the release notes section of the whole thing. So that's like in terms of customization, in terms of a bunch of other things, like changing your set of how it looks and stuff like that, is something which is not given over there in Frill and stuff like that, but it's basically there in Allbee. Yep.
Yep. Hope that answers your question, Vishnu. And is it possible to add feature like Olvi creates cookie of visitor and show him a number of new notifications in red, which were announced after his last visit, and new notifications?
Yeah, that's already there. Basically, if you like, for example, if a user is coming into your website, right, and the last time there were like two notifications out there, it will basically show two. The next time they come in, and we will be storing the data of that in your website itself. And now there are three new notifications. I will actually show you three notifications over there, and it's basically a solved problem at all.
Absolutely. Unesh, yes. The answer is yes. So can we customize the widget icon?
Can you? Yeah, of course, absolutely. I mean, it's on you. If you want to put it in a button, if you want to put it in a icon, if you want to put it somewhere all together in a small widget, you can do that as well. Because we have embed, we have sidebar, we have model as well. So you can do, and also we are very sort of like, as soon as you open up sidebar, it also gets optimized for your mobile as well. So
Oh, wow.
we are doing that as well. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. So as Olvi mainly focuses on releases and updates, what do you think which tool we should use along with Olvi for public feature requests and suggestions with upvotes to be added as well?
Correct. There are a bunch of these companies. I think one of the great ones is Apoti or something like Canny, which basically also gives you announcement. But yeah, there are a bunch of other things that all we when it comes to announcements. But yeah, you can always go back and do your road mapping and things like that over there in Canny or Apoti in general. And they're like sort of
Absolutely.
great products.
Awesome. So do you have any ideas or feature board for Olvi website where we can raise feature requests and ideas we wish to see Olvi in future, see in Olvi in future?
Correct. We don't have a public board as such, but as soon as you come to the product, there's a section called join our Discord. There's a bunch of people talking about feature requests and stuff like that. We sort of have our own community over there, so you can pull in whatever the ideas that you want over there and things like that, right in that in the Discord channel itself. So yeah.
Arnav, you can paste the link. I think Chaitanya is super interested. Many people are super interested with the product feedback, etc. So you can paste the Discord link. Guys, the Discord link would be pasted in the chat. You can join in and give all kinds of feature requests. Everyone's already discussing. Go join in the discussion. And
just to add, guys, if any one of you haven't joined our partnership program, make sure to take leverage of that. And if you have anyone who can take advantage and have Olvi, then you can start making recommendations. Make about a good 6-7 recommendations, and you can pretty much end up buying an Olvi free, right? So there's always various ways and opportunities. So just go out there and just head to partnership.pitchground.com. Minant, can you just quickly show them?
Yep. Is it partners?
Yeah, partnership. No, partnership.
Okay. Partnership.pitchground.com. Okay, let's go.
And again, it's built on PageMaker, guys. So take advantage of it, We'll potentially add a new widget over here as well of Olvi to giving updates to all the, again, this is how, again, I'm going to be showing you guys ways of how we're going to be using it, right? So right away over here, we're going to be adding Olvi most likely in next 2-3 days, right? And all the updates that we have for the new potential partners who are very interested in joining can see those updates, and trust me, that will increase the conversions drastically when they see the communication is so very clear with the audience, because this is the only thing a user expects from a company. That's it. A very clear communication and updates, frequent updates, right? And also when you add this, this will actually make you push more updates, right? And that is a good thing for your business, right? Even if you're running a website. So you're, look, this page and this partnership program is not a tech product, right? But we'll still end up adding it over here because we want every possible way to communicate and connect with all of you, right? So we are very transparent in terms of open communication and ensuring that you guys are aware of what's going on. So you will probably see next 2 days and all the widget. So don't be surprised when the widget is on this particular site. Again, the advantage of this 1+1 offer is still there for another 20 minutes. Again, guys, take advantage of this. Once that is done, just fill in the form, drop in a review, and you get another code. Why do pay double, right? When you can get 2 organizations for 1 cost. Take advantage when things are out there, because we often see that people will reach out to us after 3 days asking for the same offer. And when we are not able to, they get disappointed, right? So why do wait for those 3 days? Just take action today, guys.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's jump on.
Let's wrap up the other questions very quickly now.
Absolutely. How do we give users emails to Olvi to send notification?
Great. So we are still working on that. I think that's what I said. Yeah, that is sort of going to come right now. It's in the building pipeline, and it's actually getting built while we are talking right now.
Perfect, perfect. So any plans for SMS or WhatsApp notification in future?
I haven't seen any of these requests as of now, but if it comes like a stack for us, we'll surely do it.
Absolutely. And I think the project's question is already answered. It's for one organization, which means one domain. So with this, we wrap up all the questions. And yes, all the questions are answered, guys. The form link is already in the chat. The Discord link for Olvi for feature updates and discussions is already in the chat. The partnership program link is also in the chat. So basically all you have to do is grab any plan of Olvi. Yes, we recommend the $145 plan, and go into the review section, drop in use the product, drop in a review, and then fill the form, guys. That's more important because the form would be expired in the next 17 odd minutes. So fill the form once you make a purchase live. Yeah, you still have 17 minutes to go. If you like the product, if you like the presentation, if you like the founder, his vision, all the communication that we've been doing with you guys, then this is your chance to grab the Olvi in the best possible offer, only limited to this webinar, only lasting for another 17 minutes. And this offer will go off. So what are you waiting for? Grab Olvi right now. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen over here. Yes, there's one last question about color schemes. Like color scheme plays a key role along with great UI UX. So regarding the logo and color scheme, like is there any like story behind why you went with this color scheme?
Yeah, it's there is, like, so for example, there are 2 sort of primary colors for us. One is pink, and the other one is sort of navy blue. That's exactly this sort of shirt is, right? And the whole idea was that with navy blue, what happens is it basically gives you the elite sort of product, sort of emotion that we wanted to get into. And pink was one of the reasons why we chose it, was because it was actually complementing, because it's a lighter shade of the color, and we have a darker shade of the whole thing. And pink was something also which is not usually a lot of these brands taken, but we wanted to experiment and combine it to give that elegance and sort of a superior product all out there, like representing it more like a queen rather than a male version of it. so that's what we wanted to do.
We tried our best to keep it in all these colors only in our thumbnails and product images, etc. So yeah, So we just wanted to convey that color to you guys. And I'm glad you're able to notice it, Vishnu, and asking this question. That means it's working. So with this, we wrap up all the questions. All the questions have been answered. Feel free to reach out to us on the Pitch Ground community if you have any question regarding Olvi, etc. Arnab and his team all are here in the Pitch Ground community. They're just a tag away. All right, there's a tag away. If you have any question, just tag Arnab or Nishant or tag me instead. I'll just tag them, and that's it. All your questions would be answered regarding Olvi. So with this, we have another 15 minutes for the offer to go. The form link is already there in the chat. Let me know if you guys lost it. I'm gonna happily gonna paste it again. And with this, we wrap up. But as we don't wrap up webinars without a giveaway, so let's check out our Instagram account and see who all tagged us on our Instagram. I can see around 7 or 8 people tagged us. Oh yeah, 10 people tagged us on Instagram. And let's see who's gonna win if you're here in the webinar. So Ben Dellis, are you in the webinar? Ben, if you're in the webinar, say hi. And if you're not in the webinar, it's Binaya Tuladar. But your Instagram account says Ben Dellis. So instantly tell us hi in your account. Let's see if that's you. And if you say as hi, I'm gonna confirm it and give the prize.
Yeah, one more thing, guys. I think for KK Patel, who won the Pitch Ground t-shirt, you haven't sent us your email address. Please send it ASAP right away in the chat, because otherwise we have no way to reach out to you. So just make sure that you include your email address right now if you're still online, or else I won't be able to ship you the t-shirt.
Awesome. So Binaya has confirmed, and congratulations. You have won the lifetime deal for Olvi. That is huge. Congratulations, Binaya. You have won the lifetime deal.
So now, last one, or now,
Yep.
pick up the favorite question.
Go through the questions, pick your
Sure.
favorite question, and that person wins. Yep.
One second.
Again, KK Patel, please ensure to give your email, or else I won't be able to ship you the t-shirt as I don't have that detail. So please, if you are in the webinar, because I have no other way to contact you, so please ensure to give your email if you're here.
Okay.
Vishnu, I've already got your details, so thank you for that. And I'll ship it across the Olvi t-shirt to you today itself.
And he also won the Pitch Ground t-shirt in the previous webinar, so you have to ship out that as
there you
well.
go. I think that one is already shipped. You should have it probably like reaching this upcoming week or something.
Perfect. So Arnab, have you chosen your question?
Yeah, I did. I mean, one of those were when one of this person, like Om, basically asked, right, how do you come up with the pricing and stuff? I think it's a very nuanced thing of, of the whole entrepreneurial journey when you come to a SaaS product, and that's exactly what is. Yes, I just probably love that question as well.
Who is this guy? This guy has been winning for the 3rd or 4th time in
Was
a
it
row.
Om?
Yeah.
Oh,
Are you still here? We're gonna count till 5. Om won.
Om Kadam. Yes, he's here.
Hey, Om, congrats. This is what happens when you attend the webinars, and this is what happens when you stay active, and this is what happens when you actively get involved. You win, guys. You always win, and I think this is something that we always do in all of the webinars. There's so much you guys can win just by participating, right? And this also makes it fun. But more than that, you also get to learn so much. And we try to do these engaging stuff to ensure that you pick up a lot of golden nuggets, right? So again, guys, just 10 minutes left before the one-on-one offer is over. After that, we would not be able to offer this ever. Take advantage of this offer right away. Buy as many courses you want. You get +1 on all of them. So with that, I think we've answered all the questions. All the giveaways has been given out. All the ones who have won the code, please drop in your email in the chat below so that Minang can reach out to you and we can hand over the codes to you in your account. With that, guys, thank you so much for joining in. I hope you guys enjoyed today's webinar, but more than that, I hope you guys picked up some great golden nuggets Om, just send out and just
Just
type
contact
in-
us on our Instagram because you have DM'd
Yeah.
us already. Yeah.
Yeah,
Contact
so
us on
you can
Instagram.
just send us an DM on Instagram, or you can just send us an email at support@pitchground.com, and we'll take care of things. With that, guys, we'll be wrapping up. We'll be coming back with another power-packed webinar with Ornov. And again, we really apologize for the screw up. Zoom, thank you so much for screwing things up today. But we thank you guys for coming in and staying along. And we hope you enjoyed this webinar, got to learn and picked up some golden nuggets. And we hope you learned one very important lesson today is going out there, taking action, productizing your service and launching it everywhere. I can guarantee you again, you will end up getting at least 100 customers who would be interested in buying your product, right? There are 8 billion people in the world. I'm pretty sure 100 would end up buying, right? So just go out there, launch everywhere, be it Twitter, right? If you just Google a list of launches, you'll probably find like a ton of sites and probably over 150 to 200 websites where you can list your products. Can't you get 200 sales and can't you get 10,000 page views out of so much targeted exposure user base? This is how, guys, again, start working on it, start taking action, because just attending a webinar and not taking action is not going to help you guys, right? Take action, and trust me, success is just a step away from you guys. With that, we will wrap up this webinar. Thank you so much, guys, and everyone, have a great day, have a great night, and have a great week ahead. And we'll see you guys in the next webinar, guys. Have a great one, everyone.
Yep.
Bye.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
Bye.